African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation.
But what I do need the African immigrant brother and sister to understand, America will give you opportunity that she will never give me, because you are not a threat. You can be 100%. Deported whenever they feel like it.
True.
You can be stripped of your American citizenship or your green card whenever they feel like it. They can strip me of my citizenship, but where do they send me? Nowhere. We are the only people that cannot be deported. And that's why America can't stand us, even though she's the reason she can't get rid of us.
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from now. Most of the Latinos and the white majority are now left in a very rude shock that black people can't be deported from the US. Now, not just the law is protecting them from being deported, but it is almost impossible to deport such a group of people which have helped build the US and who are actually running the US economy for the longest time. So let's watch this video of people now coming out to realize that it was all a lie, that they thought the black community was going to be deported, and they are now being hit by the reality that black people are in the US to stay, and no one is gonna deport them because the law protects them and the economy also depends on them. Thank you so much.
I scrolled past a post where this lady was like, there are actually black people getting deported. Like, black people are actually actively getting deported. And she was like dead ass serious. And she's like, so this really truly is our fight. Like this, like, we're supposed to be together in this. And I can't help but think, what type of black people are you talking about here? Because I'm thinking that you're not talking about my type of black people, my lineage, which would be like the FBA, descendants of the slave trade type black people. I'm thinking that you're talking about some type of diaspora black people. And I hate to say it like this, but as a FBA, we don't really care that much about them. A lot of, okay, and let me not say that to be mean or disrespectful or rude or anything like that. It's not that we're not cool, right? It's just that we don't look at other people who identify themselves as black people who are not from here as like brothers and sisters. And the reason why is because 99.99% of the time when they're coming over here, they're looking down on us, they're talking down on us, they're thinking that they're better than us, they're telling that they're going back to their countries and to their own folks, and they're saying how we're all black FBA people are lazy and how we don't want to work and how we all live off of government assistance and how they're better than us and how they're collectively doing better than us. And it's always some type of negative comparison that they have to make towards us. So why would I give a damn about you at all? Like, you don't respect me, so why should I respect you or give a damn what the hell happens to you? I do not care. Not my brothers and my sisters if you're talking shit about me. Like, this is not even to be divisive, because to be honest with you, Black Americans were always like pro Pan-Africanists all like throughout our time, like throughout history. Like, we always been like pro Black, like wanting to help Black immigrants and just wanting, you know, to really build up a Black community and a Black diaspora, and actually feel connected to other parts of the black diaspora, right? But it seems like when people started other blacks started migrating over here, it almost seemed like they almost kind of like felt intimidated or threatened by our presence and wanted to like replace us. And so felt like in order, you know, to do that, like they had to discredit us, disrespect us, and try to associate themselves with, you know, the others. So that's all I'm saying.
Immigrants, there are going to be the next group that are going to be the majority in this country, and they're trying to stop that. This is what, and Donald Trump understands this. He understands. So all of you immigrants who believe that black people can be in some kind of way deported, you need to read the Constitution. You have to understand that black and YT people will not be deported in this country. There are some Native Americans being deported. Did you know that? There are some Native Americans that are being deported before us. Because they're not in the Constitution. They're not in the Constitution. We are the only people that they cannot touch like this. And y'all fail to understand this. And now I understand why there's so much hurt and so much pain and so much divide, so much angry people when it comes to when I see.
You know why black Americans can't be deported? Because they're not from Africa. They're not African Americans. We are not African Americans. We're not. We can't be deported. This is our land. I mean, think about it. You do have Haitians that are being deported as we speak. You do have Jamaicans that are being deported as we speak. But they don't identify as black. They identify as Haitians. They identify as Jamaicans. They identify as Africans. Okay? So, yes, people with the same skin tone, yes, the same skin tone are being deported. But that's because they are not here from America legally. You get it now? You get it now? We are Americans. They literally erased our entire identity. They reclassified the indigenous people that were already on this land. That's why we can't be deported. Where are we gonna go to? Where can we go?
Everybody is talking a lot about this birthright citizenship thing that Donald Trump is doing. But I just want to say one thing, because I'm seeing a lot of videos. I just want to say this. Black Americans cannot be deported. The birthright citizenship law, like Trump said, was made for the Black Americans, for the children of the enslaved people. That's how we got our citizenship. We are not immigrants. So what Trump is doing is all the immigrants that came and tried to take advantage of the birthright citizenship thing, which it wasn't for them. He's getting rid of it. He's attempting to get rid of it for that reason. But it doesn't affect us. If your ancestors been in this land for the last 400, 500 years, it doesn't affect us. So I don't know why everybody pushing this propaganda like, oh, we are not immigrants. Black Americans, aka African Americans, are not immigrants. You know, I try to stay out of other people's business. Me personally, I try to stay out of other people's business. I try to mind Black American, aka African American business. But please, with the scare tactic, trying to get Black Americans riled up, that doesn't affect us. So it's like, I'm sorry, but that's not our fight. You know, we are Americans. We are the original Americans. We are the people, our ancestors are the people that fought in every war, that assisted in building this country. That's us. So if you came from another country or something like that, I feel for you, but you know, I'm on my business. But stop with the propaganda. Like, Americans cannot be deported.
Racist Latino community coming for Black Americans. Now we have other people in the diaspora talking about, but Black people are being deported too. What about us? We're not trying to be divisive, but I'm also remembering how many of y'all were sitting back saying that we were lazy, that we had no culture, we didn't know where we came from, and claiming things that are actually in our culture as your own, And I'm still not over the fact that a lot of y'all feel like Juneteenth, y'all should be celebrated too. So for y'all to sit in the comments and then co-sign on with that community that's being racist towards Black people, Black Americans, especially talking about, I'm so upset that the Black people are saying that they're not a part of this fight. It's all of us because some of us are getting deported too. Babes, we're Black American. Remember the same demographic that y'all said that we always want to be the main character and that we're so xenophobic because whenever we sit back and defend ourselves against people saying shit about us, we're those people. So please stop making Black Americans feel like they have to be fucking patriotic. Leave us the fuck alone. Remember, all the rest of y'all thought that y'all were the better imports. We were the old imports. We were here before America was America. Okay? And that is not a call for the pretendians. So, yeah. Leave us out of the whole conversation. If y'all want to team up because y'all can't stand Black Americans, then team the fuck up. But the law is the law because there's the civil law and then there's also the criminal law. And some of them have broken the civil and the criminal. And for the Latinos that want to say, but we did Black Lives Matter. Number one, you saying that is very racist because that's negating that Afro-Latinos exist. So let's start there. And then on top of that, Black Lives Matter was about under the law. Things were not being done under the law. Under the law. The deportation is happening because that is the law. We, the Black people, the Black community, we were not getting justice served. Killing people on the street is not a part of the rules of the land, baby. The rules of the land, just like any other country, you have to have a visa or citizenship to stay here for years. For years. So comparing it and saying that y'all fought with a student in Black Lives Matter, number one, the numbers weren't numbering. Okay. And number two, that's negating the fact that y'all have Black people in your community. So it still goes back to you being racist. Because we were fighting for things that were actually due to us called due process. Maybe if you learned the rules of the land, you would know what due process means. And that's exactly what Black Lives Matter was fighting for us to actually have due process if somebody broke the law or if they didn't break the law and they were unjustly killed by the police. You being deported because you don't have proper documentation is just. What's not clicking?
I can't even have a conversation with anybody who's talking about we about to be deported. You know what I'm saying? Black people have been through everything imaginable in this country and they can't do nothing more to us than they already done. Every year they give us something different. Support LGBTQ. Go vote. Go stop Asian hate. Now it's Black and brown unity. You know what I'm saying? They always telling niggas to do something, but we don't never do nothing for ourselves. Where's our reparations? Where's a hate crime bill? And why celebrities ain't speaking on this? They helping the other side. Damn, like, come on, man. You can't make this shit up when you can't make it make sense. Picture perfect. I paint a perfect picture. Most of these public figures.
Man, what's going on TikTok? How y'all doing? Hope y'all having a wonderful day. But check this out. Man, I noticed something with this deportation thing. I just couldn't figure it out. I said it in my video, but I just never thought about it. These people keep saying we're going to get deported, we're going to get deported, we're going to get deported. They projecting because we the only people that didn't immigrate here. We didn't migrate here. We're not refugees to come over here. We not in the immigration system. We didn't have to pledge allegiance and denounce another country just to live here. We didn't do none of that. We not anchor babies. Our parents didn't come over here, didn't had us here. None of that. But they have. They have. And they hate that. They jealous of that. They jealous of that. Because number one, they thought they were going to be our replacement. They were working on it. I ain't gonna lie, they were working real hard to be our replacement. Then number two, they came over here to colonize us. But when they found out that Trump made it a way where we are emancipated people, we are children of slaves, we can't be deported. They hate that, and that bothers them. That jealousy and envy bothers them because they already come over here with jealousy. They already come over here with envy. But now they see we can't go nowhere. Now they want us to be scared with them. They want us to be scared of if we see an unmarked car drive past our house. They want our heart to be beating fast. You know what I mean? When we go to restaurants and we see ICE come take somebody, they want us to be scared with them. And we just out here popping fans, you know what I'm saying? Well, them fans, that we just popping fans, having fun, enjoying life, talking, trying to get our money right, trying to see what's going to happen in the future. We ain't even thinking about ICE. We're not even thinking about being deported like they is. They want us to be scared like them. They want us to be worried like them. You get what I'm saying? That, and I'm like, damn, bro, like they really are jealous of us. Not just the Africans and Caribbeans, the Mexicans are jealous of us. Because they mad because they not part of the 14th Amendment. They not. There's a lot of white people not part of the 14th Amendment either. They jealous of that, bro. We can trace our family to the 1700s. Some people can go far back than that. And they don't like it. And they jealous of it. And they hate it. I know it burns them up. Like all the contempt, all the anti-blackness they say about us, the rhetoric, the stereotypes, all that stuff they spew. And that one thing they can't get is the citizenship like we have. We emancipated people and they hate that. Ooh, they hate that. That burns them up. That's why they doing these scare tactics on us. That's why they doing all these things, because they want us to be fearful, just like them, of being deported.
Latinos have to be more delusional than J-Lo thinking she's really Selena to believe that black people can be deported in their own country and that black people are immigrants.
Are you people insane? What are you talking about?
Through my short tenure on this app, having conversations with people throughout the diaspora and people from around the world, it has come to my attention that many do believe that black people are actually immigrants in the country that we hail from. This is why we get hit with, where are you from? And when somebody says Georgia or New York or Detroit, they're like, no, where are your parents from? And I'm like, New York. They don't get it. And it's like, you arrived here as an immigrant and you think America is a white country. America has never been a white country. America has always been a multi-ethnic country in which white people have been the majority of. Never been a white country. So you don't look at a black person or a native person and be like, oh, you're really American. That's just the reality of this country. We'll always say the only real Americans in this current iteration of America we have are white people, black people, and Native Americans, because those three people have been here since before the inception of America and during the creation of America. Everyone else came after. All the other European immigrants came through Ellis Island. The Italians, the Polish, the Jewish people, the Greeks, all of those people are later additions. We've been here since before all of them. So how can a black person be deported? I would implore you to actually know the history of the country you're living in or trying to occupy. And before you speak to someone who is actually a descendant of the people who have been here since the 1700s, do better. Do better. This is a sad attempt at you trying to force my hand to support Latinos because of what's happening right now. I do support everyone, but to say a comment like this is dumb because black people cannot be deported because we're from here. Now, can other black immigrants be deported? 1,000%. I have family that can be deported because I have family from all around the world, but I'm American. But that's a different conversation in terms of identity politics and how Afro-Latinos or Caribbean or Africans identify in this current phase of America. Latinos are the ones that are being targeted right now. Asians are the ones being targeted right now. And Latino people have a history of anti-blackness and a history of colorism within their community. You guys are racist towards your own dark-skinned people, your own black people. So you have to stop looking to black people for like unwavering support, and then in the same sentence be like, well, you're next, or you're ghetto, or you're this. And it's like the underlying tones of racism and threats that you guys put in your messaging aren't helping your cause. They aren't helping your cause.
I'm trying to figure out, why does black Americans think that they're getting deported? Where are we going? Black people are indigenous in this country. There were black Americans in this country before slavery. Okay, the only ones who are being deported are naturalized citizens. Okay, they are the only ones who can become denaturalized and deported out of America. Please stop the BS. And I know a lot of you are doing this for clicks and views and things of that nature, but you're sending the wrong message. These same Africans that's coming on TikTok calling us all kinds of names, calling us lazy, we're on welfare. There are so many successful Black Americans. They wish that they can stay here and live the American dream and become doctors, lawyers, things of that nature, but they have to go back. Donald Trump is not doing anything wrong by sending people who doesn't even like Black Americans back. Bye-bye. Pack your bags and leave. Bye-bye.
So I got this comment. They may not deport you, but they sure can incarcerate you. Let's talk about it. Y'all say stuff like this and you're next as if it's a reason for us to show up. Even despite the fact that y'all don't listen to us and you regularly ignore our pain and the issues that we face every day. Black people live in a police state. We are targeted through mass incarceration, over-policing, and racial profiling. The main crux of this issue is really about due process. Immigrants are not getting their due process, like their day in court, before they're deported. But that's been a reality for Black people for generations and generations. So let's talk about some examples. Khalif Browder was held in Rikers for 3 years for allegedly stealing a backpack. He was held mostly in solitary confinement and never convicted. When he got out, he dealt with so much mental health issues that he eventually succeeded in unaliving himself in 2015. A year later, his mama died from a heart attack, and I would say grief. That's how much it affects our families. Like, we lose family members after losing. Breonna Taylor was shot in her own home. She was asleep. I believe she died on the floor. All behind a no-knock warrant and a man that had allegedly already been taken into custody. Where was her due process? Tamir Rice, 12 years old, playing with a toy gun in a park. Shot within seconds of police arriving on scene. Where was his due process? Y'all say this stuff with no education and no awareness of reality or Black people's reality so freely. I would also like to point out that this is manipulative and it is abusive in nature. Y'all want solidarity, but you weaponize fear to try to guilt us. That's unacceptable. It's wild to believe that Black people are expected to show up, organize, protest, put their bodies on the line, while y'all actively deny, excuse, dismiss everything that we talk about that happens with us. Or it's just met with silence. If you were going to be good allies, you would have listened when we told you that we were tired and that we were traumatized. But instead, you choose to do stuff like this and your next comments. That's how we know that you don't listen to us and you don't respect us. You don't respect anything that we have to offer anyway. Black people make up 13% of the population, but about 38% of the prison population, while also representing between 50 and 54% of the exonerations, which speaks to that over-policing and charging people, charges that are not accurate. Black men are 6 times more likely to be incarcerated than white men. Black people are 3 times more likely to be killed during a police encounter. And like Khalif Browder earlier, Black people also are Black defendants also are denied bail and regularly get higher bail amounts for the same charges that white people get. Black people don't have to be the backbone of every movement. We should be allowed to rest. We have the right to rest. We have the right to heal. And we have the right to say, not this time, and still be respected. So don't threaten us with violence that we see every day. I'm going to link some stuff in some comments because I feel like some of y'all need to read something, even though I'm sure this particular person won't read nothing. But I'm going to do it anyway. Happy Juneteenth.
Hello brothers and sisters, I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from now, many people thought that black Americans are going to be deported after Donald Trump ascends to power. Now, they are in for a very road shock. Now, Trump has been unable to deport black Americans for clear and simple reasons, and these reasons include that black Americans are U.S. citizens, and U.S. citizens cannot be deported under American immigration law. I know you didn't know that. Now you know. Many people who voted for MAGA voted maybe for one reason or the other to kick out immigrants, and most of them argued out that black Americans belong to that immigrants, illegal immigrants who are not wanted in the United States of America. And for these reasons, most thought that by this time of the year, that most of the black Americans will either be struggling at the border, trying to run away, or being deported by the ICE. That's not whatever is happening, because they are in for a very road shock. Now, however, there are more deeper and complicated context to this. We should understand so many other things that are related to this, and why most of the Latinos, brothers and sisters, some of them are not feeling happy about this, because the ICE has been traumatizing and terrorizing their neighborhoods with deportations, with harassment, and all sorts of things that have come with it, including the tension. Now, it is for this issue that we should talk about the political rhetoric, racial tension, immigration enforcement, and the historical targeting of the black and immigrant communities. Why are most people believing that the black community should be deported? However much the black community has been in the US for the longest time. Now, it is very clear that citizens of the US cannot be deported. Now, there is a legal foundation to this, that if you're born, raised in the US, and you meet all the qualifications to be a citizen in the US, then you cannot be deported under the immigration law. Now, these deportation laws in the US are clearly apply only to non-citizens, those who are not citizens in the US. And this should actually sink to most of the people thinking that everyone or anyone can be deported just because some of the people have not been feeling that you should belong to the US. Now, those being deported, the non-citizens, are either undocumented immigrants or those ones having visas and they have overstayed in the US than the visas details them to do so, or say. Now, there is lawful and permanent residents, those who have green cards, and the people who are there with temporary visas. Those are the only category of people the government or the law allows them to be deported. Now, black Americans, it must be remembered that whose families have lived in the US for generations, many descended from enslaved Africans, now, and are natural born citizens, or they have achieved their citizenship by the mean of naturalization. Now, US law under the 14th Amendment grants birthright citizenship to anyone born on US soil, with very few exceptions. This includes black people in the US. Now, I really want us to talk about this. Naturalizations, being a citizen by naturalization. You may either be a citizen of the US by being born in the US. You automatically become a citizen in the US. Now, I'm saying about this because many of the people in the US are now concerned by the fact that they want to remove the aspect of naturalization from their constitution, that not anyone or everyone born in the US can be a US citizen by naturalization, that there is a legal process that wants to be given back, that they want to draft a given process that everyone who is born there must follow, or the requirements that you must have to have this citizenship by naturalization. Now, it is for this case that you cannot deport a citizen, that most of the people thought that black Americans were going to be deported just because they are from the African origin, and that being black, or the racial tension that is building in the US, by that fact that most of them thought maybe we are brown, just like the white majority here. And so we have the privilege to stay, or we might enjoy the same privileges as the white majority. Now, this is not sitting well with most of them, because we are seeing whatever is happening. The ICE is deporting people left, right, and center. There are a lot of tensions in the neighborhood, but black people are faring on well. And this is the biggest upset most of the people are now receiving in the US, that even Donald Trump himself has no power to deport someone who is born and raised in the US. And most of these black Americans have achieved their citizenship through naturalization. They have been here for years. So I wonder if someone comes from Latin America and try to dictate whatever should be done, or who should be deported and who shouldn't. It's very sad. I know there are a lot of those who voted for Donald Trump who have good intentions. They really voted to make the US great again. But there are those few who voted to punish people, to see them being deported, and the rest of the stories that we really do not want even to involve ourselves with. Now we have the Trump's immigration agenda, which most people voted for, those who voted for Donald Trump, and it targets the illegal immigrants. And he argued out that the aliens have come to our land, taken the jobs of our people. They are causing insecurity cases. Now, they are making life in the US so unbearable, and this is the time we should make the US great again. But why is it that there is so much cry after Donald Trump was voted? The ICE is coming after everyone. Now, Trump's immigration policies largely targeted Latino immigrants, Muslim majority nations, refugees, and asylum seekers. Now, Latino immigrants, especially Mexicans and Central Americans, are really having a big and a very big problem in the US right now, because this is the group of people that Donald Trump really wanted to kick out, those who are not legally in the US. And we have also the Muslim majority nations. You know that he has been even doing the travel ban to most of the Middle East countries. Now he has been issuing travel bans. The US has been issuing travel bans to many countries from Africa that are Muslim majority related, and those from the Middle East. Now he's doing this because he has been arguing out that the US is a Christian country, and it will always remain to be a Christian country, and that they do not want any interference, and you all know the notion of America with most Arab countries, or with most Islamic countries, states. They have always believed otherwise, that these countries are infringed, right? They are infringed with crime, and for this one reason, they do not want to associate themselves with these countries. Now, we have refugees and asylum seekers. Many people have been running to America to seek asylum. Political victims, those who have been running for their lives, they have always gone to America to seek asylum. The same case in Africa, that we have South Africa, where most people run to seek asylum when in extreme conditions in their countries. But this is whatever Donald Trump is trying to stop right now. Now, while these groups are also people of color, they are not Black Americans in the context of birthright citizenship. So most people think that those who are going to be deported are those Latin Americans who are Black, or those Muslims who are Black, or those refugees and asylum seekers who are Black. This was not the case. The guy meant every word he say. Now, some critics of Trump have claimed that his immigration policies were deeply racialized. And it is for this fact that most of the people who voted are now believing that some group of people should be deported and they should be kicked out of the US. Now, let me now kick some reality that Africa and most of the black people have played a big role in making sure that the US has its economy stable at the moment. We've seen many people talking about the US being stable, the superpower of the world, but they have not discussed how America was built. America was built on the backs of the black people, most of whom came from Africa as slaves. Now, these are the same people who many of them remained in the US up to now. How do you deport such people? People who have played a very big role in your economy. You see, it's almost impossible, because if you try this, you'll collapse almost everything in that country. And it is for this reason that Donald Trump understands the assignment. However much he might try maybe to blackmail or bring the racial context and all this, but it is very clear that the black Americans are actually almost impossible to deport at the moment. Now, there were moments when Trump and his allies used racialized language or to target black figures. You know, we all know this. We all know this back from the 1980s when Donald Trump started this. Now, this led to the false impression that that he was going to deport black, or he was going to target the black. Now, that was rhetoric. Now, let's get the reality part of it. Now, the reality is this is impossible due to the law. And most of the people who voted, they voted thinking that it was going to be possible. But you are seeing clearly that it is almost impossible to deport people who have been in this country for the longest time. Now, even when Trump is very aggressive with his stances, he can't do this because he knows that this could lead to his impeachment, because it is breaking the law of the land, breaking the constitution, and going against whatever you did promise to stand with. Now, it is very illegal, according to the US law, to deport people who are born and raised in the US. Very unconstitutional, according to the 14th Amendment. You should go and read that, by the way. If you are very unsure of whatever I'm saying, you can go and proofread and try as much as you can to understand the Constitution of the US. Now, there is attempts to undermine the birthright citizenship at the moment in the US. And most people think this is going to affect the black community, and most of them are going to be deported. I'm very sorry for that. I do not know any sane senator who is going to vote for this. I know when people get power, they get drunk with it. But I do not know of any guy who is very normal, who is going to sit in that house, in the Congress, in the Senate, to discuss and pass this bill. It's very, very dangerous for the people of the US. It might get the country into a crisis, maybe. Now, there are no real threats to the black deportation. Many people are just talking about it, but the reality now is we've been having the rhetoric part of it when racialized language has been used over time in the campaign trails. So people thought maybe they were targeting the black community, but they're in for a very rude shock. We might want to go back to the historical echoes that is calling us. Now we have the pitches that is communicating to us that let's be very careful how we transact, how we talk, and how we believe that someone could possibly be deported because of their color. It's very, very crazy. It's very, it's not even going to happen. Not going to happen. Thank you so much for having taken your time. I really appreciate. If it's your first time on this channel, please consider subscribing, sharing, and commenting on this video. Thank you so much.